Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles. Whoa, get up here, and the dogs and whatever. And Jesus Christ, it's Friday, and the Iceman's definitely sick. Yeah, I've gotten sicker by the day, every day, and boy, if I am just so congested. So, for all those, my channel. Good Friday morning. Long week for me. It just doesn't end. But it's a beautiful Friday morning. And yeah, is my mind the sharpest? Probably not. Just because, wow, I'm just not sleeping, and just my whole head just wants to explode. So anyways, Monday was health. Tuesday was sick. Wednesday was absent. Thursday was perfect. And I thought, what better way to end the week besides the being called the medicine day. I thought, yeah, that's a good conversation we haven't had. Let's talk about medicine. And it's pretty intriguing to read about medicine. For me, I guess you could say the medicine of my life, or the drug of my life, is all the cars. My addictions to being the car guy, the car gods, as I call them, that seem to bring things to me that even I sometimes am stumped that I pull off to buy. And so let's get the dogs here in the barn. And I tell you what, this morning when I woke up, I realized I didn't plug in this damn truck. These electric vehicles, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the electric vehicles. I don't like the agendas attached to them. So maybe out there it's electric vehicle person. I like the electric cars. And it's just so aggravating for me that I forgot to plug this thing in. I've got to do a job today. And that's the thing. When you run your own company and you're basically a one-man show, yeah, you just have to constantly keep working. And I've done this my whole life. I mean, have I called in sick? I guarantee if you look at my attendance record of my own company, I'd have a pretty incredible attendance record. My dad actually won the AT&T attendance record of being the most attentive and employee that came to work every day of his life. I'm not lying to you about that. And my dad listens to my channel. Morning there, Dad. So let's plug it in. Problem here is this freaking thing has 60 miles of freaking range. I've got a 100+ mile day, and I've already set this whole truck up for me to be able to work out of it today, which means if I can't get this truck the next 2 hours, give me a good 100 miles, I'm going to have to take all the crap out of this truck and transfer it to another truck. And something I've learned on this electric truck, which my Power Boost out there has the same thing. It's this Pro charging system, or the Pro capability of plugging in power tools. That's made a huge difference in me being able to use the good old days of plugging in actually wired power tools versus all this battery crap. The battery crap, I've had it for years, and oh my gosh, it is so slow in comparison to the real deal of getting 120 volts out of your vehicle. I gotta get these lights on. So, yeah, the medicine term, the drug term. But I tell you what, I did some reading, and I'm no college educated person. I'm just a person that came out of high school. Let's take the hard knocks of life and just never give up. And I just read and learn on my own. And so reading about medicine, it's very intriguing to read about how medicine, so is medicine a drug? Is drug a medicine? This goes back to the conversation, is an engine a motor, or is motor an engine? So if you read about medicine, you're going to see that the true beginnings of medicine didn't happen until like 1320 BC. It was the Greek god, Asclepius, that was recognized as the first medicine man. And I'm sure you've heard the word medicine man. I think they even made a movie called Medicine Man. And so they talk about medicine is about returning your body to its normal state. And I thought that's a good definition. But the medicine man, Asclepius, I think that's how you pronounce it, Asclepius. He actually had daughters, Hygienia, for like hygiene. I think that's where you got the hygiene name, from the Greek word hygienia. And so apparently he and his daughters were kind of looked at as the first medicine man for mankind. And it's recognized today through the serpent and the staff symbol that you may see in a doctor's office that's representing Cephalus and his daughters. And so supposedly, I could be a little wrong about that. I'm not the expert on this stuff, but it's really intriguing to understand that mankind has used different types of healing procedures and other things throughout our civilization. And I just thought to myself, boy, if that couldn't kind of go with the cars, because these cars, as we know, in so many ways, to me, that's my medicine. And when somebody like, what do you mean it's your medicine? Well, it just brings peace and calmness. I mean, I have had, if anybody's here who hasn't been in a relationship where you just have had a major blowout, and the smart thing you can do in life is you just get away. If you're married, whatever it may be, you just separate yourself from the circumstances. And that's medicine in my view of the world, because you get to take a time out to get your mind back into more of a stable state of mind. And that's so important in a relationship, because you start saying things and doing things that you'll regret down the road. So don't get in an argument at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night before you go to bed. That's the worst thing you can do. If you get in an argument with somebody, I have many times have jumped in my vehicle, jumped on my motorcycle, and I just have gotten away to try to clear out my thoughts and to be in a better state of mind. And it's worked for me. So in so many ways, these vehicles are medicine for me. But other ways, these are a drug to me as well. And that's where I think it's very intriguing to read about medicine versus drug. A drug is something that takes control of your mind and body. So remember, medicine is about healing your body back to its normal state. So in today's society, you think about where we are with medicine and drugs, drug abuse. It's huge. The medicine industry is huge. The drug industry is huge. And then if you've ever been operated on, an anesthesiologist is your most important person in the operating room, being that they're administrating your anesthesia to sedate you and to put you under. So that person's job, anesthesiologist, I can't really pronounce it correctly, so sorry for my bumbling of words, but I know you know what I'm saying here. That person, in some ways, has a more important job than the doctor does. And because they're sedating you, and they're putting you under, and they're paralyzing your whole body through the medicine, through really what is a drug, because they're taking control of your body and, to a degree, your mind, to make sure that your body doesn't move while you're being operated on. It's paralyzed your body, where they got to put a breathing tube in your body to enable you to get oxygen into your lungs. Your lungs don't stop working; they just don't function as far as bringing in air. So they put a tube in your throat to make sure you continue to get oxygen. So that anesthesiologist that administers the anesthesia in the drugs while you're under, that person has the biggest value in that operating room, because if they screw up, you may not wake up. You may be dead. And then they reverse the procedure once you've been operated on and your body's basically been paralyzed, to enable a doctor to do the operation for you to come back, and your body then takes over the drug, and then you're no longer paralyzed. And so that's a huge thing for anybody who goes in an operating room. You better hope you got the right guy. And those people can make a lot of money. And so once again, that guy is actually in so many ways more important than the doctor. And you give credit for people to do that day in, day out, because that's a very, very critical job in how you help the operating procedures. But back to the cars and trucks, as I just said, in so many ways, these vehicles are the medicine to me. They give me happiness, and they give me the drive for me to want to be successful, and they give me the pleasure of me driving around, and I feel really good about what I have, and the cool features of the vehicle, how it rides, how it sounds. But at the same time, it's a drug, because somebody could say, well, yeah, but your challenge is, Mr. Iceman, you can't walk away from the deal, or you got to buy another car, and you have an addiction, which I don't disagree. You're right. So in one aspect, I have a drug addiction, because these vehicles take control of my mind and body, meaning that I get so caught up in having to have all these vehicles, and I get such the high off of driving the vehicle, and my body feels the vehicle, just like the motorcycles, that in so many ways, it's a drug addiction, which is just like, wow, right. But where we are in today's society, I think people don't step back and think about on how what you're administering, what you're putting in your body more than ever, sadly, in our society, like cannabis. I mean, it's a known fact now that they're doing studies that cannabis is creating serious mental disorder in teenagers, young boys that start smoking pot and they use it on a regular basis and that's really, well, realize it or not, for teenage boys, that's such the early stages of development of the brain, and that cannabis interacts with that development. And apparently, they're seeing true data that these younger boys that are becoming drug addicts in so many ways to cannabis, that they're having mental disorder as they get older. And that's really sad to hear, because today, more than ever, cannabis is really accepted in our country more than ever. And yet the younger generation may not be so aware of this. And even to the point, like maybe even the older generation is not aware of this, that we've got a serious problem of the younger generation thinks that the cannabis will do no harm to you. And in some ways, it's a medical medicine, which you've heard that terminology. But once again, what they call a drug is what alters your state of mind, takes control of your mind, takes control of your body. What you call medicine is what returns your body to the same. So to me, I'm sure it's very debatable. I'm no doctor, no cannabis expert. I'm just sharing. You'd have to say that cannabis is a drug because it takes control of your body and your mind. And I think to myself, boy, oh boy, could we take this to another level where we are in today's society, where I just showed you my race truck up here and how that's my medicine, where I showed you my Bronco or my Raptor, and in so many ways, that's my medicine. But in other ways, the technology of these cars have come to be where they're now able to control the car more than ever over you. So is the new revolution, the new electric revolution, the new technology revolution. Could we say that in some ways, these vehicles are turning into the drug, because they can take control of the vehicle that you own and control. I mean, we know, you've already heard the stories about how Ford can disable your car if you don't make your car payments. Ford's patent an idea that they can have your car move itself out of the driveway out into the open road or whatever to be towed away. I mean, there's a lot of variables on all that, but in some ways, the new technology in these cars is now a drug that Elon Musk, in so many ways, I like to use Elon Musk. I just love talking about Elon Musk. He's the guys, the front page of every article in the media machine just about every day now. So for Elon Musk, he's the guy that took control with artificial intelligence, with the video cameras. I mean, think this through. You're talking right now about artificial intelligence that's being put in these vehicles now, what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is the generative pre-trained transformer that is now taking control of your vehicle. And in so many ways, taking control of you. Because if you're driving down the road and the vehicle decides to do whatever it wants to do, what are you going to do, right? I mean, so, wow. But if you go back to the 70s, have you watched the Mecum auctions in Kissimmee, Florida? Tell you what, if I wasn't stuck up here, that's someplace I should have been this year. That is so cool. So many cool cars are going across that. You got to catch that. The big Kissimmee, Florida Mecum auction. Great cars are going through there. I think last night, like $800,000 for a split window Chevy Corvette 63. Wow. I mean, beyond believable. I think it was black with a red interior. So anyways, that was, just catch that if you can. It's really, to me, that's I like watching those type of shows because it's my medicine. It just kind of keeps me just at peace, and I enjoy seeing the older cars, and it's just really cool. It's just something I think everybody can relate to, where they can watch a show or a movie, and it just brings peace to your mind, and it just takes your mind off of all the other challenges that we have in our life. But the point here is, you go back to 60s and 70s, 50s, and even the early 80s. But you go over those years, the medicine car, I think we could say that we had the medicine car more than ever because it didn't have all this technology in it that spied on you. It didn't have this technology on it where it tracked you. You had to take control of the car. You took control of the car to drive the car. And in so many ways, I think that gave you that peace of mind because you knew how to drive the car and how to master the car. Who hasn't been intimidated by driving a big truck or driving a manual transmission or driving a new vehicle you've never driven before? Who hasn't been intimidated about getting on a motorcycle and learning how to ride a motorcycle, a dirt bike? I mean, typically most people start off on a dirt bike just to get the basics on how to clutch the dirt bike to take off and ride around. Who hasn't been intimidated by that motorcycle and your capabilities to be able to ride that without crashing it? That's out of gas. The kid ran out of gas. He had to walk it back. Isn't that something? So the medicine man, I mean, I've never thought of this, but I always call my adventures in my YouTube channel the car gods because I'm out and about trying to buy something and the deal doesn't go down, Then finally the deal goes down and it's like the car gods came. But at the same time, is it the devil in the working? Yeah, I don't think that. I got to drink my coffee here, so sorry for the delay, but got to get coffee. Got to get a lot of stuff. Yeah, what medicine am I taking besides Alka-Seltzer Plus, severe cold and cough? That's what I'm taking. And do I have to go get the Z pack from the doctor? Probably should. So, yeah, am I getting anybody else sick? Hopefully not. I didn't go to the dentist the other day. Maybe watch my channel. I canceled that. There's no way. I was going to go into somebody's office, start hacking and coughing. That's just rude. In fact, today, my daughter will drive a separate vehicle from me just because I don't want her in the same cab as me because I'm hacking and coughing and sneezing because that's how you get sick. So, the 70s, can we look at the 60s, 70s cars as the medicine man? That was the medicine man years for the cars. But you go to here, you fast forward to our day, and it's a drug. It's a drug because in so many ways, it's the governing bodies, it's the green agenda that more than ever wants to control our lifestyles, our habits, and our views and ideology more than ever in modern times and ever in my lifetime, where we've had stuff down our throat, the ideology and all this. It's a drug. It truly is an addiction of these radical people that want to control you more than ever. And what better way to do it but to tap into the flair and the love of the vehicle? I mean, the vehicle is the number one thing in the world of transportation to get people around. It's an icon of prosperity or you being poor. And so the world bodies and the green agenda people have figured out how to get into these vehicles to create this to be a drug because they're going to be able to control this vehicle. Oh, have you heard the latest? Cummins. Oh my gosh. So Cummins has just gotten slammed. It's an ongoing investigation. Cummins has just been called out on the diesel cheat that from 2013 to 2023, their Cummins Ram diesel motors and the 2500, 3500 series trucks have a software program in them to do the diesel cheat emissions where it isn't really showing the correct emissions. It shows correct emissions during testing, but on the real road, it then goes back to give you all the real power. So it's a $2 billion fine that Cummins Motors has just been served by the EPA of our country. And under those terms, they're going to have to reach out and try to make things better. They've already agreed to re-engineer like 40 locomotive train engines. They're doing community things and other things to try to help resolve their diesel cheat, but they swear up and down that they never knew this was going on. Their position is, and I can tell you what, you better say that, because if you've ever followed the Volkswagen diesel cheat, the president, CEOs, engineers, they all went to jail, they went to prison. So if you're a Cummins guy, you better say all day long, I have no idea. Guess artificial intelligence somehow did that. I have no idea. I didn't do it. Where can you find me that I did that? Otherwise, you're going to prison. I mean, that's real stuff. So huge. And Stellantis will not be part of this because Stellantis, and there's a perfect example where you would have to give Stellantis, the Ram division, really Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, you got to give them credit. You let somebody else build the engine, and then they got to take the fall. Because if that was Stellantis and it was their own in-house engine, oh my gosh, you're talking huge monies. Apparently, to date, Volkswagen's paid out like $30 billion. $30 billion. You wonder why everything's so expensive? I mean, sincerely, why is everything so expensive? Nobody has to talk about it. I talked about this during the pandemic in great detail about how all these vehicles are getting so expensive. It's because of the green agenda. I've said it many times. It's the Ford and GM and other guys figured out, take the ICE and make these guys pay for the future of electric. Just start jacking the prices on these vehicles. And at some point, these vehicles are going to be more expensive than electric vehicles. Is anybody hearing this? Just hear what I just said? Yes, that's where it's all going. It's just a very sly, it's truly no doubt in my mind that the real plan is that as time progresses, these ICE vehicles are going to be much more expensive to buy than an electric vehicle. Wonder why? What do you think they're trying to accomplish? Right, here is Hertz, rental cars. I think of Hertz with O.J. Simpson running through the airport, never realizing that O.J. Simpson be running on the lam in a Bronco white truck because he had a glove with blood on it. Have you remember that story? Yeah, have you remember that? The O.J. Simpson guy? The story of that, oh my gosh. I can remember being at dinner with my first wife when that news came out. Literally, we were at dinner. I can't remember what the restaurant was. This is back like in 91, I think. 92, whatever year it was. The O.J. Simpson. Do you remember how people just were addicted to that? That was like a drug. People watched the trial. There were people just spent all day watching the trial. Hey, Mom and Dad, you remember all this stuff? Remember when, the Sue Crow and Bill Crow came down by her house and the guys hung out and watched the O.J. Simpson trial? I mean, it was like a soap opera thing, sadly, at the expense of others dying. So if it hurts, rental agency, they're giving back 20,000 Tesla cars. The demand for these Tesla electric rental cars isn't there. So they're reevaluating, they're selling and taking the loss on Elon's 20,000 electric vehicles, because when people go to rent a car, they don't want to rent an electric vehicle. And as you can see, here I am. For me, I mean, I am so aggravated on how, even for me, I've talked about this on my channel, that you will forget to plug in your vehicle. And I know that I can go spend the money for a Pro Charger. But what people don't understand is I have to bring all new electric in. And so they got to pay for an electrician to come in, put in my panels. I've already been through this. In fact, you go just like a year and a half ago, I had an electric company coming out here to trench on the backside of my property here, all the way in the backside of my barn here, to put in the electric. And I had a good friend of mine who's an electrician who was going to put in the panels, and I was going to upgrade to those supercharger supercharger stations where I can charge my truck like in an hour or two or 3 or whatever it is versus 12 hours. Yeah, I did all that. But then I'm still going to have to spend money. At the end of the day, I'm going to say conservative out of my pocket. It'd be $3 to $5 grand. And the electric company said my electric bill is making them so much money, they wouldn't charge me for it. I'm not lying. That's basically what they said. Because my electric bill here goes anywhere from $400 or $500 a month to $700, $800 a month. Just depends what time of year it is, because I got a lot going on. So, anyways, the medicine, the drug. So you truly have to say that for the green agenda activists, for the governing bodies, they will say, "Look at these people. They're like druggies. These people are addicted to these cars and trucks and motorcycles. These people will pay the price. They will pay the price. They will pay it. Trust me. This is the word behind the scenes." Hey, just continue to jack the prices on all these ICE vehicles, makes everything so much more expensive to help us offset the expenses of the electric vehicles and the transition. And as time goes on, they're going to want to buy an electric vehicle, not because they really want to buy it, but they'll have no choice because this will be a lot less money. And then the infrastructure will be more in place and the transition will begin. And it's happening. If anybody just thinks that somebody's not putting an electric charging station today, you're foolish. It's going to continue to move on. It's the drug. And once again, is it the medicine or the drug? And so for us, I think somebody will agree that our medicine is the Ice Age, because it gives us that love of hearing that engine rumble. It just gives us that love of being more in control of your vehicle. I mean, look at the motorcycles. There's no real, per se, technology in the breakout. I mean, there is, but it's not going to steer itself. It's not going to remotely start itself up. It's not going to stand up on its own and back itself out of my garage and have the repo guy come and take it. Or I'm going to call on it and it's going to show up when I'm up the street to come pick me up. That's not happening anytime soon in the motorcycle side. Now on this side here, yes, that reality is already here and on our doorstep. So now you think about where we are in today's society of the drug addictions, and it's beyond believable of what we're witnessing in the city administration under Joe Biden, where we have the highest fentanyl deaths, beyond believable, the highest drug deaths ever in our country under this city administration. And what is this administration doing about it? You can look at the drug of the illegal immigrants that are coming here more than ever that we just can't really track to know how much of an impact of the drugs coming in this country. But I think we all can kind of figure that out. But the real thing is, what you want to think about is, most of these illegals are coming here for the medicine. Yes, they're coming here because they want the medicine. They want the health care. They want to be able to have a baby, and the baby's brought to a hospital and is safely delivered and brought in this world. So they're looking for the medicine. But realize it or not, that's a driving force of the humanitarian crisis in our world, and especially in this country, is people can't afford medicine. Wait a second. Healthcare, what did Barack Obama run off of in his election year? It was all about the Obamacare. It was all about bringing affordable medicine to you. That was the whole agenda. That was the whole promise. And so many know that never really played out the way it's supposed to play out. I think most will tell you that their medical expenses went up. Yes, they did. But that was the pitch. Medicine. Okay, let's see here. So the other day, I'd moved my car out to charge my truck, which that was a waste of time. Just left the truck out here, right? So now let's look at the Mustangs here. I was telling the other day, look at the footprint of this Mustang versus this Mustang. Now, to me, I swear that this Mustang Ice is wider than the electric Mustang. Would you agree? The car sits much lower. I lowered it, but what is the length? So I'm gonna just count off on my feet here. I'm gonna start about right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's close to 15. Look over here. All right, same thing. So right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the Mustang, lengthwise, both are about the same, but this is a 4-door. This is a 2-door. How about that? So think that through. So same length. I swear this is narrower. I mean, I really do. I mean, I think it's narrower. It just looks it, the way it has the look on that. So anyways, what's the challenge of our country? It's medicine. Yeah, I mean, it's medicine. That's the challenge of where we are more than ever in our society, is affordable health care, affordable medicine. And it's incredible how the doctors control, as you get older in life, the medicine that you're able to have. And in so many ways, the drugs, remember, drug is totally different from medicine. And that's the thing. You want to tell your friends that do drugs, it's like you're taking something that controls your mind and body. I mean, that's what you're doing, which is it a no-brainer why the Chinese want this younger generation to be addicted to drugs, because they know that they can control your mind and body. Really sad. But anyways, the medicine man, more than ever in our today's society, is a challenge in this country, because the diabetes, that's one of the biggest health issues in our country, is diabetes. And the amount of medicine that's being administered to handle that is through the roof. And now you have the medicine to lose weight, and the list goes on and on and on. All right, going to kind of keep it at that. There's a lot of talking. And for me, I think the shorter videos are better videos because they just don't drag on forever. So I'm going to kind of leave it at that. But I think that I hit all the key points of where we are in today's society with medicine and drugs. And yeah, and so for me, I've got both. I've got the medicine of my happiness, but then I have the drug addictions of having to have just too much, which that's challenging, but it doesn't last forever. And I'm having a good old time. And what comes next? What'll be my first purchase of the year? Does anybody know? If you're watching my channel, you'll know. And I thought to myself this morning, if you go from 2020 to 2023, how many vehicles did I buy? So I know for a fact 33 last year, 30 the previous year. So 2022 was 30, 2023 was 33. That's 63 vehicles. 2022, I don't know. That wasn't a very great, I should say 2021. That wasn't really a lot of purchases that year, I don't think. And then you go to 2020. So am I at 100? I don't think I've hit 100. But if I buy more vehicles this year, in a 4-year time frame, could I hit 100 vehicles? Huh. Would that be incredible? I need to research that. I really do. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to call it. And does my truck get me 100 miles plus today to make my day a little easier as I go crawl around my hands and knees? I mean, Jesus Christ, man, it just doesn't end. So anyways, there it is. So appreciate everybody, as always, watching my channel. I'll let you see my face. I'm in my Triumph outfit and my Indian, yeah, the multi-brand guy. So thanks for watching my channel. Share the channel, and I appreciate everybody reaching out and wishing me to feel better. Really do appreciate that. That's very nice of you. And I got my coffee mustache right here, the brown out from drinking my coffee. And I even got another video made versus this week. I didn't think I'd even get this far, to be honest with you, but I did. I did it. So I enjoy it. I really do. And I appreciate all the support. Have a great day. God bless. Stay safe.